Hey, it's Saturday. Hope you got some sleep. Hope you enjoyed your Friday evening, went for a walk. Hope you're going for a walk today as well. Welcome to the Jay Rooney Show. Let's go. I'm sure you've noticed we have a lot going on in our world, and where do we really even start today? I'm not sure, so let's just jump in. Finland and Sweden want to join NATO. Putin has said he doesn't want NATO countries on his border, but here he does. I feel like that's a moot point. Maria Shakova, a Russian foreign ministry spokeswoman, has said that Putin has gone mad per Sky News. And I'm sure you've seen the hundreds, if not thousands, of Russians who have been arrested for protesting Putin. That must have taken a lot of courage. German financial minister and Italy support kicking Putin out of SWIFT. I still don't think we're there yet, but I do think it's something we might have to do. With Russia meeting unexpected resistance from Ukraine, I think we should wait and see what happens. As other countries send in aid, the Pentagon said they're sending $350 million in military aid to Ukraine per Yahoo News, along with 7,000 more troops per the New York Times. And now Germany has reported they're sending weapons to Ukraine as well. So I do think we should wait first. And I also think that's bullshit that we're sending that much money over there with what we have going on in America. But, you know, that could be a topic for another day. Why? Why do I think it's bad if we kick them out of SWIFT? I believe bombs away, and I also believe there goes Taiwan. According to Tim Pool's podcast, and Emma Norris of Britain tweeted that Russia is alerting everyone to prepare for medical aid. Is that because his army sustained more casualties than anticipated? Or is it because more to come? I could not find this tweet. The New York Times reported that U.S. officials have been reaching out to China, sharing intelligence with them about Russian troops and asking China to work with us. China said no. China said no. China's made it clear they do not stand with us right now. And I knew it. I knew it. I meant to call this out in a couple episodes ago. I just had a feeling that North Korea would somehow get involved, and sure enough, some reporting by Heek Young Yang, edited by Sandra Millar, I found this on Yahoo News, have reported that Chinese President Xi stressed to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un the significance of cooperation between the two countries. North Korea state media KCNA reported this on Saturday. In a message to Kim, Xi said China is ready to work together with the Korean side to steadily develop the China-DPRK relations and friendship and cooperation under the new situation, KCNA said. If you're not familiar with the DPRK, that is the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and that's actually North Korea's official name. And speaking of Democrats, they have no clue anymore. I mean, sometimes I just feel like they're straight up ignorant, or they just don't pay enough attention or even care. They just run on emotions, or I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out, but they're definitely not using their heads. And the reason I say that is because rumors are circulating that they actually want to send our troops from the southern border to Europe. I mean, come on, man. I hope everyone out there gets why that's just so ignorant. Do you realize that we have other portions of our military just for that? I mean, come on. I'm not even going to get into that anymore. I find it so ridiculous. They just want to let people in. Don't you think China will send spies? And who else knows? But, you know, I got to admit, because, you know, part of what I want to do on this show is always be honest. And I wouldn't mind removing some of the folks from the southern border, because I really don't mind letting a lot of these people in. I do think we need to have some folks in there, though, trying to prevent people like China from sending in spies. But, you know, Democrats want to let all these people in because they think they're going to vote for them. Those coming in on the southern border may not vote for them. I am not convinced of that. If you look at Cubans and Nicaraguans, people from Venezuela, they're ready to vote for Republicans in large numbers. They've been through oppression, and they know what, you know, a democracy that leads to socialism can do, and they don't want to see that in America. So, and they came to America for this reason, to get away from oppression and to have a better life. And they're also strong family people and religious. So I just think those folks coming from the southern border, as soon as they figure out Democrats are not family oriented and they do oppress religion and they really just don't have their shit together, if anything, I think they'll vote against them. So I've always been like, just let them in. I can't help but wonder what would be happening if Trump was our president. Another rumor has it, you can see a link in the description, that Trump told Putin that he would bomb Moscow, and Putin said no way. Trump responded with all those beautiful golden turrets would be blown up. During Chinese President Xi's visit to Mar-a-Lago in 2017, Trump also apparently warned Xi that any military move against Taiwan would be met with an attack on Beijing, a remark that left Xi stunned. So, you know what? Say what you want about Trump. I don't really like him either, but I would much rather have him be our president than the weak excuse of a leader that we have right now. And you know, I caught this recording from Britain News this morning. A Zoe Streppel, a British journalist, academic historian, and an author and commentator on gender and relationships, was talking shit about Biden, calling him weak, and so much more. And I couldn't help think, would you rather have people laughing at the U.S. but afraid, or laughing at the U.S. not afraid? Because when Trump was our president, little boys like Trudeau was laughing at us, but I mean, look at him now. He can laugh at us all he wants. Trump would have fucked him up or fucked anybody else up while he was president if they had messed with us. Now people are laughing at us and they're not afraid to mess with us. I don't know. I think I would take Trump. Without a doubt, the past couple of years were the worst in recent history for most of us. We experienced a global pandemic, a stock market crash, murder hornets, wildfires, Kobe Bryant died, and lots more. Now we have food shortages and a potential trucker issue of our own, and I'm assuming gas is about to go way up. It's been so bad that there's no way things could get possibly worse, right? Well, not necessarily. According to the famous French Nostradamus, there's a lot that could go wrong. Have you ever heard of Nostradamus? If not, his full name is Michael D. Nostradamus, most commonly known as Nostradamus. He was born in 1503 in the Kingdom of France. He worked as an apothecary for a few years, but he then enrolled at the University of Montefiore. Although he hoped to earn a doctorate, he was expelled almost immediately when the university authorities found out about his work as an apothecary. At this time, that was a forbidden trade by university rules. Nostradamus married in 1531. He had a wife and 2 children. They all died after contracting the plague. He then picked up his apothecary work again, but he began moving away from the traditional medicine. He eventually published an almanac following popular trends in 1550. He continued publishing almanacs while beginning his work as an astrologer for wealthy patrons. Nostradamus then embarked on his goal of writing a book of 1,000 quatrains, a type of poem, for which he is best known today, the book entitled Les Prophéties. It was published in 1555 and contains 942 quatrains that rely on literary and historical precedent that, to this day, many believe have accurately predicted future events. In fact, more than 70% of his prophecies has been fulfilled so far. Les Prophéties was met with mixed reviews, and some believe that Nostradamus was involved with dealing with the devil. I mean, once upon a time, if you looked at someone the wrong way, you got burned at the stake. So that sounds about right. But others also believed it was an incredible work full of genius. Nostradamus came up with his predictions using judicial astrology and forecasting events by calculating stellar and planetary bodies and their relationship to Earth. He was criticized by professional astrologers of his time, who saw him as incompetent. Nostradamus made a lot of predictions, so many that he was bound to get some right. And why is this relevant? Well, he made a lot of predictions for 2022 specifically, so that's a little scary. And obviously, all this is open to interpretation. So, real quick, a couple things that he got right over the years. He predicted King Henry II's death. He predicted air travel. He also predicted the rise of Hitler, which is pretty crazy. The prediction reads, "From the depths of West Europe, a young child will be born of poor people." He then goes on to write that he will, by his tongue, seduce a great troop, and refers to him as Hester. Within 2 cities, there will be scourges like of which we've never seen. Nostradamus wrote on what many have interpreted a foretelling of an atomic bomb that was dropped on Japan. From on high, evil will fall out of From on high, evil will fall on the great man, and a dead innocent will be accused of the deed. People think this is about JFK. Personally, this one is tough, but for me, I'm really into JFK, so it's really interesting. From on high, evil will fall on a great man, and a dead innocent will be accused of a deed. And then he also says this will remain in mystery. So I think he's talking about JFK. He also predicted a pandemic in America and Italy. This is also one that people have speculated he got right and is happening right now. So, to the future, what does he predict? Dead through spite, he will cause others to shine, and in an exalted place, some great evils to occur. Sad concepts will come to harm each one, temporal dignified, the mass to succeed, fathers and mothers dead of infinite sorrows, women in mourning, the great one to be no more, all end to the world. Not sure what that means, but given we're on the brink of war right now, and considering that we are a great country, I mean, this looks pretty grim and is pretty nerve-wracking. I sure hope he's not right about that. He also said there would be another ice age, so maybe he is wrong about that. People like Coonan and Randall Carlson may agree. Look into them yourself. I really like Randall Carlson a lot. He's a cool guy, crazy smart. Also, if you're into that, check out what is a solar minimum. Some people believe that we are going to enter a solar minimum soon. A solar minimum is a regular period of the least solar activity in the sun's 11-year solar cycle. During a solar minimum, the sun's spot and solar flare activity diminishes and often does not occur for days at a time. The solar cycle takes about 11 years to go from one solar minimum to the next, with duration observed varying from about 9 to 14 years. I believe the idea is that this could trigger a cooling trend, but what the fuck do I know? NASA has put out articles disproving that there will not be a solar minimum, or if we do have one, it will not kick us into a cold trend. So anyways, what did Nostradamus have to say about 2022? Apparently a lot, and just to name a few, inflation. You got that right. There will be a food shortage and people will become cannibals. He got half of that right. I sure hope we're not about to become cannibals, but there's definitely a food shortage, and I definitely can't help but notice every time I go to the grocery store, the shelves are bare. They didn't even have Q-tips the other day. He also predicted there'd be a war in 2022. Check. A meteor shower. To be determined. He warned us about AI. Well, a lot of people are warning us about that. The US dollar will collapse. Sure hope not. Will Putin die this year? Some say Nostradamus actually predicted that he will, and that Putin may be the third anarchist. He predicted that there will be 3 days of darkness. The sign of the cross will reappear, but he also says the fall of the Catholic Church will happen. Solar power takes over. Check. I mean, how the heck did he know that? Commercial space travel. I mean, seriously. Check. And there's more. I just grabbed the relevant ones. Go check them out yourself. Some would say this man is throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. But how would he know? How would he know about things like solar power and artificial intelligence? In episode 12, I mentioned how I believe information may have been uploaded into Einstein and Tesla's minds. Well, maybe the same thing happened with Nostradamus. Anyway, I hope he's wrong about the end of the world. I don't feel like it's that bad yet. The media may make it seem like it is. And with the world at war, it's hard to imagine that it's not. But if you just go out and talk to other people, more often than not, they seem pretty damn decent. So it's still hard for me to believe that we're at that point. Alright everyone, it is Saturday. Go get outside, work out, walk more, meditate, and sleep. But before you do, say a prayer for those caught in a war zone. Meditate good vibes to them, whatever you believe. Monday through Saturday, YouTube and Rumble. Jay Rooney Show.